Greater Germany, as I like to call it, where Austria and Prussia met in friendship and unified Germany into this big conglomerate that is basically a third of Europe right now and more than half of its economic output for that matter. In 1856, and with no infamy because this was done diplomatically. Link in the description if you want to know how we did it in the first part. In this part, we're going to take this one notch up and we're going to make Germany the economic behemoth that it always should have been. And not only that, we're also going to be expanding its borders into what some might call a third empire borders of say 1940, 1941 early. Yeah, my point is that we're going to be making Europe our little schnappeldoop and they're going to like it, okay? They're going to love it. But the first step of this schnappeldupium is to actually start building stuff. You probably noticed there's been some changes with the government construction, private construction queue. There's been a few other changes. I'm using the early access beta that you guys can check as well for yourself. Just click properties on Steam and opt in for the beta version of Wiki 3, which has had some massive improvements. Some things might bug out. Keep that in mind. It's not excluded because it is early access, right? I mean, it's early development, this beta patch, but it's worth it because it makes the game a lot more fun and more flavorful. Now let's check out our technologies, boys. We have in the queue pan-nationalism and reinforced concrete. I'm gonna add to this a few other things like dynamite, shift clickius, steam donkeys as well, and improved fertilizers. We want to focus a lot on our economy early on. We also maxed out, for that matter, our innovativeness that we can use. We're at 125 maximum. This will increase the more literacy we get, so the higher education our people, the more innovation we get, essentially. One thing I noticed I'm missing a lot of is steel, so I'm gonna build up some steel mills where we already have a huge amount of steel mills. So that's going to be in, we really don't have that many steel mills, do we? Let's say we build 9 and an extra 20 afterwards, so 29 steel mills in Brandenburg itself. Since we have a lot of population here, we got a good 130,000 peasants and 1,500 laborers. Now the great part is that you can actually see the amount of laborers overall in your country wherever you need to. We can switch over to vacuum canning also, but that means we're going to need oil and more fish, and we're struggling with our fish production and we don't have any oil production. So we're going to build up some fishing wharfs as well. These are going to be necessary the whole game, so I'm just going to max out all of these since I don't have many that I can build in the first place, as I have very limited amounts. What the hell is going on here? Why is my game going to the right completely? Okay, that was just weird. Like I said, early access, boys. We have limited amounts of coastal provinces, I was going to say. Same thing goes for the logging camps. Just going to max out in most provinces the logging camps, since wood is going to be necessary everywhere and there's very few logging camps that we can build around our country as it is. Also seems like tea is in really high demand here, so let's make some more import routes for tea, as well as let's check who we can attack to get some tea for ourselves. I would love to have some tea production for myself. I'm guessing somewhere in the Southeast Asia is not too bad. We have a little Dutch East Indies, which is our puppet, since we've puppeted the Netherlands, and in turn their puppet became our puppet, obviously. I will also start annexing my puppet Denmark, since I hate having these small little nations around, annoying little nations around for that matter, when I could just have a uniform and beautiful continuous Germany, right boys? Another thing I want to do is I want to queue up some more glass works in Saxony. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get 25 of these in Saxony for now. And this is very important, guys. We need to build more art academies, because if we don't, I have a strong suspicion it's gonna lead to problems in the future. That's why I've added a few extra ones in Vienna. Vienna is a renowned place for its art academies. I'm gonna bring this up to say 10 art academies in Vienna. We have a few other ones around the world, well, around the German world, that is. Us Germans were a very artistic people, renowned around the world for the arts and nothing else except the arts, really, historically speaking. Peace and arts, I think, the two things that define Germans all over the world, really. I'm actually curious to see the war support in action now, because it should be that I can capitulate the Danes a lot faster, and it looks like that is the case. Look at that war support going down for them super quick, almost 15 every tick, because of the damages they've been sustaining in combat, as well as the loss of the territories that they have. Let's go ahead and celebrate some stuff as well. Nice. All right, so we annexed Denmark, beautiful. Now we also need to annex Krakow, because it's just an annoying little subject here that I don't want to see, really. That's pretty much it. And the issue that our country is always going to be facing, we lack coal, so let's get more coal going for us. Make it around 17 in the south and an extra 40, let's see, 30 more in the North Rhine area. Just noticed also that Brandenburg's lacking some infrastructure, so let's go ahead and build up a few more. I'm going to alt-click 6 of these and regular click 1 more later down the line. So I prioritize building up that infrastructure in Brandenburg. Also, guys, I wanted to talk to you about something. You probably noticed that Victoria 3 hasn't been receiving the best of feedback from the community recently, and a lot of people are disappointed with the direction in which it's going and with the lack of flavor and replayability. I like Victoria 3, but I do share some of the concerns that you guys share as well, and I would like to make a video on that topic. So let me know in the comment section if you would like to hear my opinions and what I think about the current state of Vicky 3 and how it ties in relation to Vicky 2, and maybe even how I envision it to be fixed in order to make it more replayable and more fun in the future, right? Hey, if you enjoyed the content too, consider subscribing. I'm doing this full time, so it would really encourage me to make more videos like these in the future. And if you don't subscribe, that's a-okay. You don't need to. Just know that I will be silently judging you. You know, I'm actually noticing that my my radicals have been going up quite a little bit, predominantly in the Italian parts for some reason. Maybe we don't have enough pizza and pasta to go around, so maybe we should do some jobs here. In fact, I know for a fact that that is. In fact, I know for... Wow, that's just next level English right there. But yeah, I was gonna say that I know for a fact I have not been building as many buildings around here, so let's fix that. Let's build some factories, get these people working so they're less radical as consequence. Because let's face it, if you hover over this, majority of radicals are radicals because of standard of living decrease, being conquered by another country, and of course not having the jobs to pay for their standard of living, right? I have to give Paradox credit where credit is due though. The AI has been managing its economy considerably better with the 1.2.2 patch than it was before, and the game also lags a lot less now. I want to see how this goes as we go along in the campaign more, of course, but so far it's way better than it was in the release version of the game. Time to also increase our education level to level 4, and we're also going to increase our law enforcement to level 3, which means we have to build up more admin buildings, otherwise we're going to be lacking bureaucracy big time. So let's queue these bad boys up. Alt click in the capital a few and around the bigger states, which will get a lot of population as we go along in the campaign. At the same time, I want to incorporate the rest of my country, which has not yet been incorporated, which surprisingly is quite a lot of my provinces have not been incorporated yet. Oh no, it tanked our bureaucracy. It's all good, boys. We're gonna get back up that bureaucracy as soon as the admin buildings get finished. Oh, we got the German unification. All hail the Kaiser. We got a claim on Schleswig-Holstein and Alsace with some authority permanently plus 15% authority. That is huge. Or people can become more loyal. No, I'm gonna go for the authority. That's like 140 authority I just got. I think it's also high time that we increase the amount of construction sectors. Let's, you know what, let's max them out in Bohemia. I also want to see what's going on around the world, because I just noticed recently that the Free States of America are a thing, and guess what, boys? The Free States of America are pretty much identical to the United States of America. There's no difference, dude. What the schnapps? Oh, they got guaranteed liberties though, and they banned the bad law. Let's check what the US is doing. Oh no, US has still modern US contemporary laws here. Alright, fine. Let's call the contemporary ones death one, not legacy, but still similar, okay? Just saying. They also haven't integrated Oklahoma yet, so they're not a very successful US, let's say, at least not in this campaign. We have changed over to dynamite production method for our mines, which means we're going to be ramping up mineral production hugely now. And boy, is there a lot of sulfur mines in our provinces. I feel like one area that is lacking a lot sulfur though is the Balkans. If I'm not mistaken, pretty much only Greece and maybe Transylvania has a little bit of that. I might be wrong about it though. Yeah, I actually don't think Transylvania has sulfur. Let's check here. Nope, they have lead, but no sulfur to be seen anywhere in these provinces. I like how they also show us a shortage about to occur or in the process. Better yet, we got sell order 1.18 and buy order 4,000, which means we need to build a ton more chemical refineries or chemical plants want. Let's queue these bad boys up right now. Let's say queue up 46 in Anhalt. That should do the trick. Hope the people of Anhalt enjoy the smell. It's sulfurous, let's say. Another quality of life change is the fact that we can go to population and we can see exactly what the needs are for our various population strata, as well as what exactly they're lacking most. Their largest expenses are grain, clothes, and liquor for the lower strata, and that's what I'm going to be fixing right now. Let's queue up 100 rye farms, or better yet, rye and wheat farms for that matter, right? As well as some clothing workshops or textile mills, which surprisingly don't have that many of. Okay, steam donkeys here to save the day also. The problem though is that even though I got the steam donkeys, I have such a high amount of population, I really don't need to stress about using production methods that require less population just yet, i.e. the steam donkeys. But we were going to be queuing up the pump jacks so we can get access to the oil rigs, which will allow us to change the production methods over here to vacuum cleaning. It's also about high time that we change our legislation. We're going to go for multiculturalism, which will definitely fix a lot of problems with our population, since we have a lot of discrimination right now going on. If we go over to our cultures, you quickly realize that there's a lot of different cultures within our realms, albeit yes, German is predominant. There's still a lot of Italians, Romanians, and so on that we have to make sure that we assimilate into German, and I mean that we accept within our country. And let's also accept the Dutch properly into our country. Yes, you could say we're a very accepting people. That's what I'm trying to say here. Let's also hold a grand exhibition. Hopefully we have enough technology to hold this grand exhibition. We have been fairly technologically advanced compared to most of our neighbors, to be fair, so we should be okay with it. Well, at least they're putting up a fight, right? They could have just said, yes, we accept being German, but no, they're dugging in here and they're getting a pretty decent morale defense or army defense bonus. Fair enough. Surprise maneuver plus 20% damage. This reminds me of that meme from Dexter with surprise mother lover when Dukes finds out he's the actual murderer. Ah, good old Netherlands, integral part of our society. And after incorporating this, we're back to minus 1,000 bureaucracy, so we got to build even more government administration buildings. Actually, maybe I can just change to standardized filing. Nope, we were already on standardized filing. Never mind. Oh, this is amazing. Multiculturalism now means that we have every single culture as an accepted culture, and it also means that we have pissed off the church, which means that we have 21 million radicals now. Oh, why is the church upset for me accepting everybody equally? Can someone explain this, please? I am gonna give them protected speech as well. My people need to have that technology spread, and speech protected. Speech. I'm totally not doing it for the bonus 25% up to my technology. Oh, I got the Dutch colonies in Africa since I integrated them. All right, well, in that case, we probably should go back and get colonial affairs, go for colonial exploitation so we can help out the natives. Not sure how I feel about South German getting more people monthly compared to North German, which technically is our culture since, you know, we formed this as Prussia. Hurrah! Protected speech. Echoes of revolution. Don't mind if I do. 100 prestige plus a... Yeah, sure. We'll take that prestige. Thank you very much. Finally, we also managed to overtake the British with our prestige now, and we are officially the world's greatest power from every perspective except standard of living, which doesn't really count as a perspective, let's face it. Form an alliance with the Russians. You know what? I feel it's time for our great relationship to flourish, as Russia has always been and always will be a paragon of virtue and freedom, of course, which is why together we shall own all of Europe and make sure that everybody enjoys some of this freedom in our factories, enjoys the freedom in the factories is what I'm saying here. If we manage to get proportional taxation also, it's really gonna help us out so much. We're gonna basically get 300,000 extra ducats just from that legislation. I've also lowered my taxation level to very low taxes. What this does is basically it allows the common folk and, well, everybody in my country here to be able to afford everything that they ever wanted, meaning it's gonna drive my standard of living up. It's also gonna drive my investment pool up, so it actually helps my economy improve itself basically without too much of my support, right? It's kind of like, you know, I wish in the real world government governments would understand that if they gave us less taxes, we had more money to invest in ourselves and the world around us, so the world would get better faster, right? But no, because some 1%ers want to get everything whilst the rest of us get schnappeldup, okay? Now look at all that money here, boys. Look at that. We just went up to 259,000 with very freaking low taxation. That is just ridiculous. Need to build more construction sectors, man. We're gonna follow our American brothers, and we're gonna be switching from secret police to guaranteed liberties, which lowers radicals from standard of living considerably and increases the loyalists from standard of living as well. Plus, it decreases the secession from rebellion's speed, but it's still gonna happen, so that's kind of a useless modifier, my opinion. Speaking of people that have the right ideas, the free states of America are not a bad idea for an ally in the future, so I'm gonna start improving relations with them. Whoa. Okay, somebody in my government wants to restore censorship, but they don't have too much support, so it's not gonna happen. Slowly but surely, people are definitely enjoying our changes. Look at this, guys. We're losing 1.5 million radicals and fast decreasing. 1.6, 1.67, 1.7. It's really going down, whilst our loyalists are massively increasing simply from doing the right legislation, building a lot of buildings all around our country so that we have the jobs for the people so they don't, you know, starve out, and they have money to spend on their quality of life improvements, right? That's why we went up to 13.9, and we just got guaranteed liberty, so that's going to boost us up even more, lower the radicals, and increase the loyalists by a ton. Wow, so if I hover over the revolution, the majority of the people that would revolt are in Germany proper. Oh boy, this is not a good shade of green on me, is it? Oh, we can survey for a skyscraper. Yes, please. I need Berlin to get a skyscraper. The sooner the better. And let's also survey the isthmus over in the Suez. Maybe we'll be able to buy this off of the Egyptians. Let's improve relations with them. Oh, I could make them a puppet, actually. Wow. Not even too much infamy. But no, I'm just going to try and buy it from them, so I'm going to improve relations, because I'm going to use that infamy to attack the Belgians next. Proper German land, everybody knows. I was having a conversation the other day with a friend, and I know what you were just thinking now. Oh, schnaps. This man, he have the friend? Yes, yes. Technically, we never saw each other face to face. It's an online friend, but let's face it, most of you also only have online friends. My point is that I was having this conversation with this man, and he was telling me that if Germany unified with Austria in the 1800s, and this is the kind of stuff we talk about, I know, then Europe would likely be speaking predominantly German now. I don't know if he's right about it. My argument was that they still wouldn't be speaking German because the English did have a massive impact, and the reason we mostly speak English today is not because of the English themselves necessarily, but because of the influence of Hollywood and the US media. Curious what your take is on that, guys. What do you think about this? I just realized this actually turned into a proto First World War, since I'm fighting the French for Belgium and the English also joined on the Belgian side. This is the literal definition of the First World War scenario right here. And yes, I also added taking back Alsace-Lorraine and the peace deal here. I cannot have peace without Alsace-Lorraine and my rightful Australian colonies. That everybody knows Australia was actually a German colony, but just the administration was British. Numbers, my boys, and they win. That's the definition of the game here. We're also doing a historical going around of the Maginot, which doesn't even exist, obviously. There's no Maginot here. We just enforced on the Belgians, which means they're now on our side, and which also means we can focus on the French next and the British last. Be gone from my German lands, ya French scumbags. Alsace-Lorraine is actually called Elsace-Lothringen, okay? Wait, what? How do they freaking enforce? Oh god, are you kidding me, dude? Did I just make peace with them because I lost more units? Okay, so with the new update, the way that it works, the army rebalance that they did, losing units is more important than actually getting land, apparently. Because I had my troops all the way into Paris, and I lost the war, even though I had north of France almost, because I lost 300,000 more troops than they did, but they lost all the battles and I won all the battles, or most of them. I feel like this new system, combat system, needs more rebalancing if I'm not mistaken. So I will be cheesing the shit out of it from now on, now that I know what's going on, and I'm gonna go back to my naval invasion meta for every single conflict in this campaign. At least on the bright side, we surveyed the Suez Isthmus, which means now we can offer them a suitable offer, and it unlocks us the decision to acquire land in the Sinai. We also got the doctrine of iron and steam, and we're going to use that for the naval power projection. Now let's go to the decisions. Acquire Sinai. We need to have 50 or more GDP millions, and it's going to cost us 30,000. Let's click ES Maximus, see what happens. As expected, Brandenburg is the state in which we'll be able to build our skyscrapers, and boy are we going to build them, because we desperately need more bureaucracy, as you probably imagined. Let's go ahead and build this bad boy here. Only one can be built, sadly, right now. Now let's go over to our construction queue and bring this bad boy up to the front by alt-clicking on the Botanski, and it's going to take 50 weeks to build it. Holy snaps. Let's also change our building construction method to steel frame buildings. It will tank our economy slightly at the beginning, minus 340 here, because we don't have that much steel and glass to build all this stuff, but you guessed it, we're gonna queue up steel and glass to build all this stuff. Oh, survey the Panama Isthmus too. Don't mind if I do. If we get this before the Americans, that would be absolutely juicy. There recently has been oil discovered in the Moldovan area, so I'm gonna be attacking them to get said oil, which rightfully belongs to me. I've also queued up all the oil factories that I could queue up, or oil rigs that I could queue up, because oil is the lifeline of the mid to late game in Victoria 3. They back down? Ha! Wussies! And they're loyal as well. Okay, it's almost as if Romanians planned this. Wait a second. Did they just plan to become a part of my country so they have no visas at the border so they can freely move between our country? Oh, I think I'm in trouble. I think I'm in trouble, guys. Let's see if we can do the same with Wallachia, actually. Since we're here, we might as well get rid of all of the various nations on the Balkans, right? Make them all a part of us. Hey, we conscripted a skyscraper. I am shocked and amazed at the same time by my vocabulary, boys. I know. Come on, Wallachia, just give up already. I know you don't want to fight me, bros. I know you don't want to fight me. Panama Isthmus. All right, let's make a suitable offer. Journal decisions. Lowland land reclamation. What? Okay. All right. Well, looks like Wallachia actually wants to fight me, so our troops are going to be marching into their lands now. That was the fastest war imaginable. All right. Looks like Moldova did all the work, actually, by taking over all of Wallachia whilst the Wallachians were busy fighting us in this one little fortification in the mountains here. I wonder who my next target's going to be. Should I attack the French again once the truce is over, or should I, until that point, attack the Swiss, make them my puppet too? 28 infamy is not much. What's my infamy at now? I only have 60 infamy, so I actually can attack them. Yeah, screw it, man. Let's do it. Let's take the Swiss out too whilst we're at it. We're on a killing spree, as they say in some countries, I guess. Booming industry, you say, for oil. Well, I'm gonna make use of it because I'm the first one to get that industry, and Switzerland just backed down. That is great. Means we didn't have to lose any of our precious soldiers. Now I'm gonna start building my electrical grids. This is expensive, but it's worth it. Let's start with 50 or 60 of these in Bohemia, another 60 of these in, let's make 20 of them in Anhalt because we have a lot of unemployed people there, and another 30 in Hamburg, or 40 in Hamburg. Should be fine for now. Let's queue up our railways because we have some problems with our infrastructure apparently as well. I always found it funny how universal suffrage kind of sounds like everybody suffers the same universally, right? What I'm trying to say is that it can be a little bit misleading. We've also just started the biggest construction sector expansion we've had in a while. Has to be done, boys. We have way too much money right now. We got to get rid of this money and invest it in our country. Oh yeah, now we're talking. Look at this fire of industry rolling, boys. Minus 400,000 is about the right amount you should be aiming for at this point in the campaign if you want to actually grow your economy, that is. I'm also a tiny little bit bored, so I'm gonna be continuing to bully the rest of the nations in the Balkans, i.e. Serbia. Looks like Russia, my faithful ally, is also at war with somebody. Not sure who, but I'm guessing somewhere around this area, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, we have a serious opium shortage. Well, that kind of opens up my eyes as well, since I haven't really been focusing on getting opium, and I need to, so I'm gonna start attacking the Middle Eastern countries so I can build my own opium farms. This way I don't need to rely on anybody else for importing my opium in my country. Welcome to the vassal swarm, Serbia. It's a lot easier getting a vassal swarm. I don't need to integrate them anytime soon. They're pretty much a part of me, let's face it. I'm keeping them like this because I can just get less infamy in the process by doing it. Honestly, my favorite thing is watching new factories and production methods come into play. So for example, we just switched over our urban centers to electric streetlights, which brought up the need for electricity. We had 60 electrical factories in Bohemia Bohemia, but because there was no need for these electrical factories or for the product electricity, because we didn't have anything using it, it was basically just doing nothing over here. But now that we switched over to this, people are working in these factories. These factories in turn produce electricity, which is required for other production methods. So it's just like a snowball system that really is enjoyable to be a part of once you actually understand it. Oh my god, this is betrayal at the highest level. My Russian allies decided to side with Macron, which means I have to fight against my best friend here. Oh no. Well, you know what? Might as well just liberate some countries then. Let's go ahead with Ukraine first, and maybe the Poles as well. Poland. Let's go. Who is next? Belarus. Can we liberate anybody else? No, that's it. Well, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. Let's check what kind of units they have. This should be a little bit of a fun adventure against our former biggest friendos. Don't tell me they have line infantry. Oh my god. How can you still have line infantry in 1875? That's just... Was I saying before the AI is doing a lot better now? I take it back. I guess we are gonna be fighting over... Whoa. Conquer Schleswig-Holstein? Why would you put that war goal, Russia? What the F, man? Why? Out of all the provinces, why not try and go for something next to me? And what? That just makes no sense. Alright, well, we should be fairly okay winning this war. The problem is I'm worried that the same thing that happened with the French happened, and I'm gonna win the battles, but I'm gonna lose the war because I lost too many units to attrition. So, because of that, I'm gonna start some naval invasions and work my way to Moscow from the northern bits as well, and from the southern bits also. Let's start with a pincer movement, Rostov, St. Petersburg, and work our way towards the middle. There you go. That looks pretty delicious. Oh wow, that went to Moldova. Really, Moldova? Taking all the glory for yourself, are we? At least one of the invasions was successful. Actually, both of the invasions were successful. It's just that after they did the invasion, they retreated from here. No idea why. Whoa, we didn't force on them. Oh my lord. Oh wow, that is huge. That is way more land than I ever expected Ukraine to be getting from the Russians. Hot diggity dog, can I puppet them now? Cannot puppet them now because I have a truce with them, don't I? Yep, got a truce until 1881, and then I can puppet them afterwards. This is beautiful, actually, not gonna lie. It's gonna make my expansion into Europe and get those juicy borders a lot easier now. Crocodiles, you say, in the Nile, no problem. All right, now let's do the invasion on Macron, which was the initial war target that I completely ignored. And let's also try and get graduated taxation, which is gonna offer even more money. Ah, man, we're swimming in dough right now. There you go. Macron's about to be capitulato soon. Ah, I love the smell of fresh Macron in the morning, don't you? Mainly because it reminds me of fresh macarons in the morning. Don't get too excited. This is a McDonald's macaroons. We have these in Japan for some reason. Let's see now which provinces produce opium. Kalat's got a little bit of production. Afghanistan's where the big bucks are, though. So I'm gonna make my way towards Kalat and then Afghanistan. I'm gonna directly take ownership over this, though. Oh, dude, come on. Another failed expedition. This is the third time I failed this expedition. So disappointing. At least on the bright side, we got Baluchistan, so we can start properly getting our very own opium plantations. Let's start with integrating these guys as well. We might as well make this Baluchistan state a proper German state, shall we? And hey, I just saw we got 40 million loyalists. It increased by 7 million in the past few months, and we're down to only 5 million radicals, most of which are most likely from the newly conquered lands in Baluchistan, I guess. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh god, oh, I just saw my infrastructure map. What the F, man? I need to get more railways in my country. Oh dear lord, that is a massive shortage of railways. Now, I'm not saying I'm invading Madagascar because I want to send everybody there or anything of the sorts, but I am invading Madagascar because I need their rubber. That's really the only reason here. I will never ever do anything else with this particular land. I will never use it as a sort of escape room for certain people. It's totally not something I would do. I'm just putting it out there. Don't get the wrong idea, okay? All right, let's go ahead and do a couple of naval invasions. One in the south, one in the north of their country. Should be more than enough to take care of these bad boys. And yes, in case you were wondering, I'm still on very low taxes. I'm getting 4 million. I'm paying maximum for my wages and everything. I'm still getting a lot of money, and I know it's because I haven't been building enough construction sectors, which is why let's go ahead and build more. All right, let's see how our naval invasions are doing. We have 1 and I'm guessing 2 beachheads in a couple of... What the F? We're attacking with 28,000 boys and we're still taking like massive attrition damage. What the schnapps, man? Oh no, never mind. This is my dead here. We just lost 200 and they lost 3,000. Beautiful. I really don't have enough construction sectors. I should literally have 10,000 by this point. Yo, welcome Marina Kingdom. I banned the worst legislation you ever had, and we're gonna use Marina here after we integrate them to build up all of the tea plantations that we need, as well as the sugar plantations and the dye plantations. I need stuff around the warmer area of the world so I can build certain plantations that are not available in Europe. Now, with total separation of church and state, it means that we have the best legislations in place for attracting populations. We got universal suffrage, we got multiculturalism, total separation, so that means people from all ethnic groups, all religious beliefs will start migrating towards our country without any sort of issue because they will be accepted. I think that we should choose elected bureaucrats when this is available later down the line, I guess. And maybe we can get workers' protection as well, but not just yet. I need to get my bureaucracy first up. Look at the freaking amount of population we grew by though. 121 million is just redonkulous, dude. And this is just natural migration into our lands because people chose us over other places to be living in. We're also doing a quick cheeky war against Ashanti, so we return the state of Togo to ourselves. Togo, of course, is rightful German clay, everybody knows. We're gonna be getting our colonies in Africa because they're ours and they should get their hands off of my colonies. Come on, stay away from my colonies. This is my rubber, okay? I found it first. Doesn't matter, you lived here before. I saw it. Okay, you have no proof you saw it before me. Or as a really great stand-up comedian once said, do you have a flag? No flag, don't exist. Sorry, that's just how it goes. Just pay close attention to how many things are being built. Pretty much every single state within our country has something in the queue right now, and it's glorious to look at on the map itself. And if you want to see real glorious stuff, then check out the 58 million loyalists. Basically, almost half of our country is made up of loyalists, whilst only 2 million actually don't like us. This pretty much is the definition of a proper country. A country that definitely listens to its citizens and implements the best legislation to make everybody happy. I mean, we have 18.9 standard of living. Look at this grow from 1836 when we started, and look at that dash going up. Absolutely glorious, isn't it? Oh, look at the animations, guys. We just got the Suez Canal. 2 of them, by the way, because there's a glitch still where if you queue them up, you can queue them up twice before, like it was with the skyscraper. They fixed the skyscraper glitch. They didn't fix the one with the Suez Canal. I'm guessing it's the same with the Panama Canal, but I don't have that yet. That sadly went to the British, so there's that. Oh no, poor Poland has so much unrest and dissent. I think it would be wise of us to just make them our puppet. This way, they don't have any more unrest, any more dissent, and they don't need to worry about immigration when they come work in our factories, so everybody wins, really. Oh, they've embargoed us. Well, that's gonna show us now. Ukraine also embargoed us. Oh no, Eastern bros together forever. Well, I guess they're not really that together since they didn't help the Poles. It's just me and the Poles fighting mano a mano. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh no, the English are not. I was like, yo, did England just join? So I can take my Australian colonies that slipped through my fingers before. But no, I guess that's gonna have to be a different war, I guess. 10% momentum to the Communist Party. Nobody saw nothing, did you? You didn't see nothing, did you? If you did, then you need to report to your local commissar so we can talk about it. Just talk. And hey, faithful Polish province of Germany is now Polish province of Germany. My eyes are set on the other ones now next, but we're gonna chill for a little bit. We might integrate Belgium beforehand, I guess. Well, actually, it's probably better if I start with the integration of Madagascar first. Now, I know that building art academies started out as a meme, but the reality is that I'm building an extra 200 because they're just giving me a lot of money, and that's also in part due to my standard of living. Well, majority because of the standard of living, really, because if my people didn't have the money to buy art, I wouldn't be making so much money from art. So that's essentially why I'm making so much money from art. My upper strata is at 40.2 standard of living, wealthy, and the lower strata is at middling. You can see clearly on the map here when we hover over. Most of the world is struggling with the exception of the parts of the New World in England, and our lands are significantly greener than everybody else. Now I'm going to be maxing out my tea plantations in Madagascar, as well as the sugar plantations and whatever other exotic goods plantations I have here. I've also lowered relations with Luxembourg to the point where I can make him a vassal, which in turn means I'm going to be able to annex him afterwards. And would you look at that, we just reached our first billion GDP of many more to come. This is not where we stop, boys. This is not where we stop, okay? I'm sorry, what the F? Peru Bolivia is helping my vassal Belgium. Okay, Peru, we can definitely play it like that. How about we make you liberate people in that case? And we're also going to take a little bit of a treaty port in Peru, Bolivia, so we have a little bit of access into South America. This is what quality over quantity looks like, guys. We're outnumbered, but we're still inflicting way more damage on the enemy troops. It's safe to say that Bolivians are not the best warriors in this particular save game. Whoa, massive revolution in Great Britain, boys. And let's see who's on whose side. The Americans are and the Russians are both on the British side, so they got this in the bag. They're gonna win it. I don't see any issues with that. Oh my lord, I just realized if we go on very high taxes, we actually are getting 11 million revenue. That is just ridiculous. I don't know what to even do with the revenue anymore, to be honest, because there's so much of it, it's just pointless having anything else except very low taxation. I've also almost reached the peak amount of the population, so the only thing I can do now is push over my infamy limit, ignore the infamy limit, and just conquer everything around, I guess. Oh, that's so cute. Russia's actually joined on the side of the Ukrainians, so I'm gonna make Russia liberate even more countries now, and by more countries I mean the 3 Baltic countries will be free and under my control afterwards. I really wish you could see on the map the actual units moving around here and the actual battles, at least some small soldiers. What the hell is going on? Is the game having a stroke right now? What the F is this? Wow. Everything is fine. Look, the front line just advanced, boys. We won some battle, probably. I mean, they're camouflaged at least. They're trying to hide, I guess. That was a very, very quick war. We puppeted them, so now we can focus 100% of our attention on the Russians. We also started our colonization process, and we're gonna be building ports, so we have connections between our islands and our main German holdings, obviously. Otherwise, we might as well not have these if we don't have ports to sustain them. And there you have it. We liberated the Baltic. Now Europe is looking very juicy. We just need to conquer what's left of it. So let's go with our next war against Belarus, which is pretty much all we need in the east, aside from the Baltics, but we gotta wait for the truce with that to finish first. You're probably wondering now, what does my infamy look like? Well, it looks a little bit like this. We have 307 infamy, and we're gonna go up to 500. I think it is capped at 500, but we gotta go up to 500 because I'm also expanding in the New World at the same time for those juicy New World provinces, and I'm also going to be taking some more stuff from France and let's say. Yay! One more vassal for the vassal swarm. Now I have asserted myself over all of Europe, and I've gotten my 1940 borders, but the big question is, when will this game actually come out of the 1.2 beta? Because there are bugs that I've experienced in this playthrough, and it was not nice, to be honest. It kind of affected my game, but I did have a lot of fun though, so overall not so bad. So if you enjoy this playthrough, check out this amazing Japan run up next. And I want to give a massive thank you to all of my patrons, channel members, and Twitch subscribers. I would not be able to do this without all your support.